So that's the reed bed over there, that's fresh water. And then there's this bund or berm between here and this over here, which is the mangrove. So this is brackish or salt water, and completely different environment. Without that artificial bund, that bit of topography there, of course, the seawater will just move straight in into the freshwater area. So again, an artificial landscape. So now walking into the mangrove proper, and this is a tree on your list, right? This is a mangrove tree, Kandelia obovata. Kandelia obovata. Remember that mangroves can only grow in sea water, right? In the intertidal, between high tide and low tide. So it must be fairly high tide now, I think, because we can't see the bottom of the roots in the water. When low tide, then you'll find that these trees are standing in great sort of mud flats, right? And it's just flowering. Or there was spotted some flowers a minute ago. Where are they? There we go. Look, there's some flowers of the Kandelia obovata, and then what will happen with those is that they actually develop into long dangling droppers, about 8 inches, 15, 20 centimeters long, and those droppers are like ready-made plants, and they this is obviously not dropper season, this is flower season, but it'll produce all these droppers, and the droppers drop off, and then they float upright. So have a look at look up Kandelia obovata on the 7153 Facebook Workplace site, and then you'll see. But what we can see is some of last year's droppers have lodged themselves into the mud here, and you can see that they're sprouting into little baby trees, right? And underneath the Kandelia obovata, we've got, with the purple flower, look, the bear's breeches. Oh crikey, what's it called? Acanthus ilicifolius, that's right, with a little holly. It's got these sort of holly spiky like leaves and those purpley flowers. So, you know, just those two, you know, you can establish, you know, the beginnings of a mangrove community just with those two species, the Kandelia obovata. Oh, look at this, and the Acanthus ilicifolius, which normally stays kind of shrub size. It doesn't get much bigger than that. Okay, so here's some Kandelia obovata. They're not looking very happy, actually. I think what's happening is that you know, the area, as it was going through this succession phase, and the soil is building up and building up and building up. So actually the habitat is actually changing for these Kandelia, and they're not happy. But the reason I stopped here was because we can see the droppers, right? Those are the last year's droppers that have fallen off. Let me see if I can reach one without falling in. Hang on a second. Okay. So there's a couple of the droppers from last year that fell off, right? I'm going to chuck them in the water somewhere and see if they really do float as I think they do. Kandelia obovata droppers. Okay, here's the Kandelia obovata dropper experiment. Oh, you're supposed to float. Oh yes, there they are, look. So they are. There you go. It's too sunny, I can't quite see how to, where it is on the screen. There we go, look. So there's the droppers. That's what they do. And they float around until they find a nice bit of mud that's suitable for them to start to grow in. It's actually like a little ready-made tree. It just sends out roots and leaves, and then this is what happens to the droppers after they not exactly germinate, but they just start. They're like cuttings, floating cuttings.